you looking to learn more about your spiritual journey? Are you on a healing journey? Have you tried conventional ways of healing but didn't get the results you desired? If so, this podcast is for you. My name is Reverend Dr. Jackie Cope, and I'm a metaphysical minister, intuitive guide, and teacher. Here at Raven Rabbit, we believe that your ancestors, spiritual guides, and divine self are ready and eager to help you heal and prosper. We approach life, healing, and happiness through a holistic, indigenous spiritual lens to create the lives we want. Join me to radically change your life today. Hello, and welcome to episode 53. You're not behind, you're just early in the cycle. Welcome back to the Wellness Studio podcast. Today's episode is for the part of you that quietly wonders if you're late. You're late to love, late to success, late to healing, late to becoming who you thought you would be by now. This episode is here to offer you a different truth. You're not behind. You are early in a cycle that has not fully revealed itself yet. I had to wrap my mind around this. Like, wait, what? What does that mean? And we're going to get into what that means to be being early in a cycle. And when I knew I wanted to have this conversation, I heard right away that we needed some turtle medicine in this conversation. So, in this conversation right now, I have my turtle shell with me. And I also went and pulled from my the Animal Elders Oracle Guidebook with Asha Frost. If you have not heard of her, I highly encourage you to look into her. At the end of the episode, we're going to read her blurb on Elder Turtle and get some turtle medicine. But in the meantime, I do want you, knowing that turtle medicine is going to be called in here. I've got my turtle shell, and we're just going to be leaning on that through this conversation. So, for our invocation today, I have my turtle shell, and I want you to just become present in the moment here as we have this conversation about being early in a cycle. What does that mean? So, God, universe, source, please guide us in this conversation today about being early into a cycle that has not revealed itself yet. Guide us in what that means. Bring us the information we need to hear today as we have this conversation. What needs to come will come. Downloads will come. Peace will come. Answers will come. We call in Elder Turtle into this conversation for its beautiful medicine and wisdom in teaching us about pace, lifestyle, and alignment. And so it is. So thank you so much for being here in this conversation today. And I'm really excited to get started. So when we're early in saying, when you're early somewhere, you can feel uncomfortable. You feel a little lonely, a little misunderstood. Have you ever arrived early somewhere? You're like, am I at the right place? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Where are all the people? You have like no physical answers right there in front of you in your 3D time, and you start to play games with yourself. Okay. So that's what there's this conversation is sort of going. So there's a big lie uh, behind the idea of being behind. We live in a culture that measures worth by timing, by your age, by milestones, by checklists that were not designed for your soul. And you're supposed to have it all figured out by a certain age. Be partnered, be settled, be stable, be confident, be healed. And when life doesn't follow that script, the first thing we do is we turn on ourselves and we call ourselves late. But what if you were not late at all? What if you were early? Cycles are not straight lines. Everything in nature works in cycles. These are seasons of growth, seasons of rest, seasons of shedding, seasons of quiet preparation. Nothing blooms all year long. But humans are taught to perform as if we should. And this gets into my talks about colonization. If that's something that interests you and you want to go on a segue down another path, please check out my transformative spaces classes because I could spend forever right here. That we have been taught to perform as if we should bloom all year long. But I digress, okay? We celebrate the harvest and we ignore the roots. We applaud the visible success and rush the invisible work that people cannot see. Being early in a cycle looks like uncertainty. It looks like letting go before receiving. It looks like trusting something you cannot yet see. And this is not a failure. This is formation. What does being early in the cycle actually feel like? Early does not feel exciting usually. Sometimes I guess it could, but for the most part, it might not feel exciting. It feels like questioning yourself, sitting in discomfort, outgrowing old identities, being misunderstood, doing inner work with no applause, feeling lonely while you are becoming. Early is the phase where nothing externally confirms your worth yet. Like I said at the beginning, you're looking around. Where are the people? Where are the signs? Where are the ushers? You're looking for all of the physical, real 3D things. But when we're early to a phase, the external's not there yet. And that is why so many people abandon themselves here. They have no confirmation in their real 3D world. So you think, why am I bothering? What does it matter, anyways? Hey, can I pause you right here for just a second? If this episode is resonating with you, if something in your chest feels stirred, it's probably because we're touching on things that live beneath the surface, the thoughts you don't always say out loud, the patterns you've learned to carry, the quiet ways self doubt and self hate show up in everyday life. This is the kind of work I go much deeper into inside of my live container called Return to Love. Return to Love isn't about fixing yourself, it's about remembering who you are. We work with shadow healing, affirmative prayer, guided meditation, and soul level reflection to gently unlearn self hate and relearn unconditional self love, the kind that stays with you long after the course ends. If you've been nodding along in this episode and thinking, she's talking about me, then this might be your invitation. Doors are open right now if you're listening in real time, and the doors close January 19th, 2026. You can find all the details on ravenrabbit.com or through the link in the show notes. All right, let's go back to the episode. So, a little bit about my own experiences with being early into a cycle. There were seasons in my life where I had thought I had fallen way behind. I was teaching full time and building my dreams in the background, and I went to business management school with an emphasis in entrepreneurship. My business should have been planned and done, and I should have run out the gates of graduating college with my business idea. And let me tell you, that's not what happened. I had business ideas, but not the business idea. So I fell behind in my entrepreneurship journey. What took me so long? When I was healing from divorce, others were celebrating marriages. I fell way behind. Like, how could have I gone through a whole marriage, no kids, no family, no partner at home, and those around me are celebrating their marriages and their kids and birthdays, and I felt way behind. When I was doing deep inner work that no one could see, so I spent years on my spiritual journey, starting around this 29 age, I've told you many times. And not everyone saw that. Later, I got a partner and a husband, and he has definitely seen it, and it's been nice to have his affirmative towards it. It's not necessary, but it's nice. It's nice to open up and share with him. But for a long time, no one saw it. And when I was choosing alignment instead of comfort, and you feel like you can fall behind in that one too, because things that are aligned aren't always comfortable. I thought I had missed something in all of these milestones that you draw up for yourself. But what was actually happening was I was preparing. All of those things I faced brought me to you here, right now, in this moment. And that's beautiful. The timing didn't look impressive, but the roots were growing. A lot of times we start to rush when we think we're behind. When people believe they're behind, they start making fear-based choices. And this might have happened to you. You might have settled for a relationship that does not nourish you. You might have rushed timelines that are not aligned yet or aligned at all. You might overwork to prove your worth. You might shame yourself into action. This is not motivation. This is survival. If you go back to episode 50, we talk about this survival that's so important. And survival always asks you to abandon parts of yourself. And this is where return to love lives. This is exactly where we really start hitting the ground running or walking. We don't have to rush timelines here. Return to love does not start at the finish line, not at the glow up, not after everything makes sense. Return to love is for the early phase, for the part of you that is unlearning old patterns, for the part of you that is choosing truth over approval, and for the part of you that is building something sacred before it is visible. Return to love teaches you how to stay with yourself when the world is not clapping yet. And I'm going to be there with you. I am going to be there with you. And that makes me so excited. So I want to reframe early as sacred. Being early means you're ahead of the awareness curve. You're healing before it is forced. You're choosing alignment before burnout demands it. You are listening to your soul before your body breaks down. Early is not late. Early is brave. If you're in this season right now, and if you're listening to this and thinking, gosh, I thought I was failing, I want you to hear this. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not broken. You are certainly not behind. You are not wasting time. You are in a phase that requires patience, compassion, and self-trust. And this is the phase where self-love matters the most. Why self-love cannot wait until later? Because it cannot. So many people think they will love themselves once life improves, once they figure it out, once they reach a goal, once they have the money, once the relationship arrives, once the healing feels complete. But loving yourself only after success is conditional love. Return to love is about loving yourself while you are early, while you're unsure, while you're becoming, while you're still in the soil and we can't see you yet. If this episode found you, trust that it did not happen by accident. You are not late to your life. You are early in a cycle that is still unfolding. And the most powerful thing you can do right now is not rush yourself out of this season. It is to stay in this season, to choose yourself, to trust the timing, and to return to love. And so, with that, I want to dive into our turtle medicine I told you that would come at the end here. Before we continue, I want to check in with you. If you're listening to this episode and finding yourself feeling seen, emotional, or unexpectedly reflective, that's not an accident. These conversations tend to open doors inside of us, doors we may have kept closed for a long time. This is the work I hold space for inside of my live container, Return to Love. Return to Love is a guided journey back to yourself. We explore where self hate was learned, how it quietly shows up in our thoughts and choices, and how to gently replace it with unconditional self love. Not the surface level kind, the soul level kind. If you've been doing the work on your own and feel ready for deeper support, community, and spiritual guidance, this space was created for you. Doors are open now and close January 19th, 2026, if you're listening in real time. You can learn more about it at ravenrabbit.com or find the link in the show notes. Take a breath and let's continue. So, Asha Frost is an Indigenous author and she also does card decks. I absolutely love her work. Her latest card deck is called the Animal Elders Oracle, and her card 43 is Elder Turtle. And it was so synchronous when I grabbed this. When I knew I want to talk about this timing, I was like, oh, let me go to Asha Frost cards. I'll bet the turtle has medicine for us. Like, I think that's what we need to align this conversation with. And the title of the card, Elder Turtle, obviously, but the subtitle is Slow Down. It's like, yep, we're talking about time here. So let me read this to you because it's beautiful. Okay. In the Ojibwe creation story, Turtle helped to bring the earth back after a great flood, carrying the land of the top of their shell. Turtle Island is the land we find under our feet, grounding and stabilizing us. And the shell of this elder is medicine for us to root into. Oh, we just talked about that. Elder Turtle has arrived to realign you and balance your nervous system when you are in a state of overwhelm. Overextending and pushing yourself beyond your capacity can leave your system feeling frayed and vulnerable. Has life felt chaotic? Do you have a challenging time staying present in your body? If this past season in your life has left you feeling raw and hypervigilant, allow this elder to bring nourishing earth energy into your spinal column to ground you. Elder Turtle moves slowly and intentionally, calling you to walk beside them. If it feels like things are not happening fast enough in your life, know that this is the medicine you need at this time. Your system must build capacity for the next steps to happen. It's not time to push past your limits as your body and spirit always know. The land calls to you to get lower, breathe, and unwind from the hustle. This cycle of life is vitally important to your healing journey, so don't rush through it. The world will continue to spin at a dizzying pace, but the elder turtle at your side, you can trust the medicine of slow, for you are right on time. Oh, is that not the most perfect passage for the conversation that we just had? You are just right on time. Okay. Another thing in here that Asha Frost does, that was her information. She has a spot where the elder speaks, the elder animal. So Elder Turtle speaks. I'm going to tell you what Elder Turtle has to say. When you're feeling raw or unable to stay grounded in your physical body, call upon me to help you root back home. It's easy to get swept into the collective stream that tells you to go faster. And when this happens, I offer you my shell to stabilize all your energies. Feel this lining your spine, and when you forget to get low and go slow, lie down upon the earth, for my energy is there to hold you. That was beautiful. Thank you, Elder Turtle, for that beautiful divine message. And that just ties everything together with what I have to offer here in Return to Love. So if you're listening to this in real time, doors are open. You have until January 19th to get in. So there's not much time left here. This episode is released January 15th. So you have this weekend to decide. and I would love to have you there. Let's slow down. Let's take some time in this new year and let's really root into love, self-love. Okay? I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for listening. I love you, and I'll see you in the next episode. What happens when a woman breaks free from everything she was taught she had to be? Welcome to the Wellness Case Files, a documentary style podcast series from the Wellness Studio podcast, where we follow one real person's healing journey across 3 deeply intimate episodes. In this first case file, you'll meet Octavia Sirius, an astrologer, a spirit guide, and a woman who grew up in an abusive, restrictive household for 26 years before choosing freedom, purpose, and a life no woman in her lineage had ever lived. This is not a surface level conversation. We explore the problem, the patterns, the generational wounds, the fear of staying small, and the moment everything begins to crack open. Over 3 months, you'll hear her story unfold in real time, from the problem to the turning point to the transformation. Thank you for listening. Expand the life, healing, and happiness of others in your field by sharing this episode. You can get more of my content and other helpful tips by following Raven Rabbit LLC on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Be sure to comment on Spotify and answer the episode's question so I can keep creating content you love and desire. Thank you so much.